Tim, this is on, but it's okay, right? See, it is on.
Yeah, what, yeah,
You have to do anything with that?
no, that should be good. Should power come off that.
Good to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome to the board meeting for the town of Owasco. We just went through the Pledge of Allegiance and we approved the agenda and approved the town board minutes for several meetings, October 8th, October 21st, 26th, 29th, and November 4th. We also received a letter from John Purin thanking the Highway Department for the fine job they did on paving Corning Point, Lakeview Drive. And we now are doing new business, which is all media would like to address the board regarding ditch work and drainage issues at their Letchworth Ave property. So right now we have Mike O'Neill speaking on behalf of all media.
Hey, thank you, Ed. My name is Mike O'Neill. I'm an engineer. I'm working with Joy DeMail, All Media. Fundamentally, we're talking about Letchworth Ave and the drainage from fundamentally the bench track and the Dickman track. They come through a drainage ditch, which is currently located on All Media's property on Letchworth. The bottom line is we would like to, Joey has a lot of international and national people that come to his place. He'd like to clean it up. And he'd like to fundamentally improve the neighborhood. It would like to request that the town consider placing drainage pipe and covering up the drainage ditch. So in the summertime, the drainage ditch through All Media's property that drains the Dickman track and some of the side streets and the bench track comes down through the All Media parcel. And it creates, in the summertime, as I said, in the springtime, mosquitoes. It's kind of a somewhat of a nuisance, and we'd like to improve the appearance. We'd like to improve the drainage. We'd like to request the town consider placing piping, covering up the piping, and just basically making an improvement on an open ditch that runs through the property. I think it would benefit the town. The neighbors could tie their drainage systems into that. So it's kind of a community drainage area. It's not just an All Media. Most of the water comes from upstream, originating, as I said, the bench tract and Dickman tract, and works its way down through. So we're respectively asking the town to review it, look at it, and consider placing a pipe in there and covering that particular pipe up. Joey, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, it would be greatly appreciated. The land is extremely wet. I'm not a surveyor, but I think if you look by eye at the upper part of the land, the highest part of Letchworth, it certainly has eroded and slopes down. And I don't know how much of that is natural erosion, but I think it's also aided by drainage, from some of the homes that are there. And I know that other homes are draining into the ditch. So I think it could be a benefit for everybody if we could help them to just get their drainage buried there and be done with it for the good of everybody.
Joey has a huge investment in that particular area. And I mean, I don't know if you've been to see his sound studio, but it's one of the top sound studios in the world, really. And to be located in Owasco, that's a compliment to Owasco. And as we indicated, there are a lot of world musical individuals that come to Owasco to visit his studio. We would like to respectfully ask the town to consider reviewing the matter. We feel that most of the water comes from off-site, and anything the town can do to place a pipe and help cover it up, that would be great. We would appreciate it.
And if I could just say one more thing, I'd also like to say that we're very proud to announce that we just did a mix, a full Dolby surround mix of our first major motion picture to be mixed here in Owasco. I can't talk a lot about it because I'm under a non-disclosure, but I can tell you that when I am able to speak about it, I'd like to be able to come come back and make an announcement and give you all the details. I think it's quite noteworthy. One of the most revered recording engineers in the world was here. He and his wife are, she's also a German Tonmeister, which is the highest level you can get in music, classical music. And this movie is not just something that's going into Netflix. It's quite the opposite. It's going to be released in theaters, and it's a very socially appropriate movie for some of the things that are happening in the world today. So it's really the real deal. And we're very proud of that. And they both were knocked out about how beautiful the area is up here. And so they've now scheduled another project on the 5th of December to be here. And they're both coming up here, and she's already, looking at places for cross-country skiing and things like that. So the reception, to our work has been just very complimentary, but also I have yet to see somebody come here from another part of the country or from some of the guests that we have from abroad. I have yet to see anybody say anything other than, oh my God, you're so lucky to live here. This is such an amazingly beautiful place. I mean, they are truly all taken with the beauty of it, and very much, look forward to coming back. So I think it's a compliment to all of us to have, be lucky enough to live in such a beautiful place. So, thank you.
Mike, is any of this work that needs to be performed, is that on roadsides or culvert ditches that are plugged up? Or is that on private
Well,
property?
basically, the water originates, as I said, the Dickman track and bench track comes through a wetland area. Then in kind of the town actually has, in some areas, kind of sporadic easements for the storm drainage. But what really happens is that it's an open ditch in kind of an urban area. And I think it's time that we reassess the area. I think what we would ask is that it be piped and covered up, that all would be a benefit, I think, both to the town and to all media and to the surrounding properties.
Historical background, we received a letter back in August from their attorney requesting that we look into the situation, and then we just delayed it for a little while, and now it's at the request of our attorney. We asked them to come in here to present to the board for the rest of you to hear. I've already spoke with everybody about the situation. I talked to Bob Bruno about it as well. One of the things that we can do immediately on our property that we have a right of way for, most of Eastwood Ave, Letchworth Ave has drainage, the property, except for their property. So we definitely can put the road drainage, which is under our right of way on that property. What comes into play is the main area, the main ditch that drains from the retention pond that we have at the bench track. We own that retention pond, and that drains into that open area, is whether or not we're looking into that right now legally, whether or not we have a right of way to maintain that open ditch thing. So what we're looking is, once we find the legality of that particular part, then if we do have a legal responsibility, then it's a no-brainer. And then we just, ask the highway superintendent to who does also sewer, which is sewer is also, there's two types of sewer, storm and sanitary. So he would have an obligation to do it in-house ourselves. So I think immediately what we can do is we can probably run the drainage along Letchworth and along Eastwood, so that we would be able to at least get that started, because every place else on that whole street has that, except for that particular part. So, and that would help with the runoff off the road. And then once we find out legally whether or not we do have that right away, then we would come back and do that.
And I'm sure that Mr. O'Neill will do the engineering for us at no cost.
Well, it might set you back if we put it on the number one engineering feature is water runs downhill, and we're at the bottom of the hill, and the water's coming from up the hill,
Just
so
like in the military.
you got it.
Yeah.
If we could get free concrete from Vitaly, we might be.
We got a better chance of seeing God.
Just over to Brooklyn
We
Bridge.
did receive, free candy tonight, left over from Halloween, so,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure that extends to engineering and, to concrete, but anything we can do, Joey, lives in one of the larger suburbs of Owasco in the city and owns the property in Owasco, and we'd like to, do what we can and improve the area, and thank you all for your, cooperation.
Thank you. Rick, do you have anything you want to add to this or? Nothing else. Bob, anything else? No.
Just one thing.
Yep.
Since we have been at the property, it has been a problem because a lot of the children in the neighborhood want to play there. And I just wish there was a way that could happen, but, there's no way you can get insurance for anything like that. It's, you feel terrible chasing these kids away, and they, I remember not having a place to play sometimes myself, but it is a creek. It is dangerous. It is wet. It's easy to slip, fall, smash your head. There's rocks. I mean, it has been a disaster waiting to happen. And, we've been lucky thus far that, thank God, nobody has been injured or hurt, but we do unfortunately have to police it. And that's also, it's time consuming and it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't certainly make us popular when we're chasing people's kids away. And it's like, well, they're just playing, but they're playing near a creek, and, so I just thought I would mention that because it is a reality. But thank you again.
Thank you. So we can't discuss it right now, but
No, understood.
we will take it and we'll talk to Rick, we'll talk to Bob, and and then we'll keep the board informed on what's going on. Any questions from the board?
I did have one quick thing. First of all, the kids will just go upstream and play in the town-owned water, so they'll always have a place to go.
Well, they got a beautiful playground right down the
Right.
street. I hope they use that.
Right. You mentioned, we've got this world-class facility in Owasco, and I mean, you said, I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't seen it. Is that something that would you be willing to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right before you came on, he gave us all a tour
Yeah.
before your term started, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Why
facility.
why don't we fix a date when we can all meet, and I'd love to have
That's
everybody up
fantastic.
there.
Oh, it's amazing
Yeah,
hearing the speakers.
I'd love to see it.
No
Yeah.
problem. I'd love to have you guys come.
Yeah.
Let's fix it.
Bring your favorite CD and we'll play it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, the speakers are amazing.
You
No,
play
it's
an
a-
instrument?
I play an instrument, not well enough to
For him here.
Well, neither does Joe
Yeah.
Camardo.
Don't be so sure. I got paid for every mistake I made. I do all right. But no, it would be my pleasure to host, all of you to at least come up and get a demonstration of immersive audio.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's the future for all of
amazing.
us.
I think you would be impressed at how professional and how nice and how well it's done, and how really state of the art the facility is, so.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it
You
is.
walk,
It's
you're
worth it.
gonna
Worth
walk
it.
out of there saying, this is, it's too good to be true.
yeah.
I'd like to do it whenever it's convenient. Unfortunately, I can't travel much these days. So,
Right.
I'm here quite often, so I can make it to everybody's convenience, and I really would enjoy very much having you see
I'll send it for
the
you.
efforts that we put into the place.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Hey, you're
Thank you,
welcome,
gentlemen.
you're welcome to
See you,
stay,
Mike.
but
I
Okay.
guess we're out of here.
You're
then,
outta
right?
here.
Nice
Well,
to
I'm
meet
gonna go home and catch it on video.
there
There you go, on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Thank you.
you. Nice
Thank
seeing
you,
you, Mike.
Thank you, Joe.
And I'll call you at 10 o'clock to wake you up.
Oh, do that.
Mike, grab some candy on the way out.
I will do that.
Joey, take some more M&Ms. Thanks for bed.
I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Compliments.
They're Timmy's now. Okay,
Okay.
Walt, you wanna do a
Oh, he's over here.
presentation on the, we can put Walt's,
Hey, all right. Good to see you.
You want the podium? No?
he's gonna, he can just.
I did have one question on that one. Right? Is that
What are we looking for? Wetlands? Oh, you know what? We don't have any brand new computer,
That might have
Oh,
been
nothing
just
installed?
before.
no software installed.
Can I put it on this one over here, or I can, I want to set up the,
Now, let's just make it real quick.
okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Let's make it simple.
we'll just get this straightened around so we have the ability later.
Yeah,
I'll make it quick, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the big news is that Mr. Bruno arranged for the Tally Group to come up and do the hydro seeding. So we're almost done with the planting. As you know, we've been working all summer, and your highway department crew has been working as often as possible to get that site prepared, make sure that the guardrail was installed. We've put over 140 plants up there. And except for some dogwoods I'm going to bring down next week, we'll all be all done next week with our planting. I will say though that some of the plants that I wanted us to have to comply are available from a nursery in Massachusetts. And originally I was just going to drive over and pick them up for us. But as you now know, Massachusetts is on the advisory list. And there's just no sensible reason for me to go there and create more havoc during this crazy COVID chaos. So I'm sure that DEC will understand perfectly well. So I just have to say that I will continue to work with the deer exclusion effort on each plant. And so far it seems to be working. My experience with fighting deer is not to just assume we're going to do one and done, but to keep coming back every few weeks as their behavior changes during the season. So I think today was a very important milestone. And if you want, I will go ahead and notify DEC of our progress.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, can you let them know that their nurseries in Massachusetts and then we can't go there?
I certainly will.
In your opinion, do you think we met all of the requirements that's required to, for the consent order, as far as timeline goes?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, with the enormous challenges all summer long where we couldn't even get DEC here on site because of their own COVID restrictions, we've actually seen, a lot of work done under very difficult circumstances. So once we get the remaining plants in the ground next week, we're this close to the compliance, and then we just have to meet the growth goals every single year for 6 years.
Great, thank you for the update.
So
Okay.
99.9% yes.
Okay, so what I'll do is probably download that to my computer and send out the pictures to everybody, so you'll have a copy
Perfect, thank you.
to look at.
Okay.
So maybe what I can do is, so before you leave,
Yeah, you might be able to save it and then get in the junk back.
Yeah,
back.
that's right. Let me get my, I got, because I got a different port here.
I'll just keep it.
You sure? Yeah,
We'll get it from you later.
okay.
Thank you all, take care.
Thank you. All right. Next thing on the agenda, okay, this is something that the county gave to Tammy, and Tammy needs to get passed to be required by state to do this. It's a motion to adopt the New York State Archives records retention disposition policy.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Pretty standard.
No one has any questions for Tammy? Want to
Start the
vote?
shredder.
Want to vote? All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Carried. Next thing is a reappointment of Jim Sharinga to the Board of Assessment Review for a 5-year term. This term actually ended in September. We were supposed to get this last month, but we didn't get on the
I'll
agenda.
make a motion for discussion.
I'll second it.
Any questions?
What do we have? How do these positions get filled as far as, I know that he's been on the board.
Yep.
But are there other interested people? How do we fill these positions?
Because of the training involved with it, once a position, someone either passes or doesn't want to do it, then we advertise, and then we have the assessor, which was now the county. They would be involved with the part of it, and based on, and we try to look at needs. We look at, do we have representation from the farming community? Jim Sharinga is the farming representative. We try to have someone from the lakeshore. We try to have someone from the avenues. And so we look at, the person stepping down, what their area of expertise is. We always look, in the past, we've had 2 or 3 people who are real estate people, who know about real estate, who know about assessment, stuff like that. So we try to find a mixture of quantity and quality. So that's what we do.
Gotcha.
So because of the training involved in those stuff, it's foolish to try to get someone new in there if someone's been doing a good job on the board. So any other discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, next one is an amendment to the handbook. We sent out many red line copies over the last week or so on the thing. The bottom line here is that our policy, the way it was in the handbook, is that if someone is a retiree, a spouse, if the spouse of an active employee turns 65, that person can no longer get health insurance. And it's against everything that the county does, everything that the state says that we need to do. And so what we have done when we signed 3 or 4 years ago, when we switched to Tompkins County Consortium, when we went through union negotiations, it was Terry Hoffman. Well, we suggested it, but Terry Hoffman took credit for it. She suggested, Tony, you were involved with that.
I wrote it up.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet. You sent me a thing. You want to explain what you know?
Well, it was back in 2013, 14. We're trying to save money, and one of the ways we were able to come up with saving some money is to move people who were automatically eligible for Medicare off of our insurance rolls, because Medicare becomes the primary. And then what we did to smooth the way for that transition is to pay for the Medicare
A and B, and A and B.
A and B. And I think we did save money as a result, because we're going from a group coverage to an individual coverage for the employee, if the employee was still not Medicare eligible. And when and also when the employees became Medicare eligible, we moved them over. In fact, we've got, I think,
3.
2 right now. Three. So the coverage is fine, and we saved some money.
Yep. And at the time when we switched, we actually saved about $25,000 a year by switching to the Tompkins Consortium, and we did the other thing. So if we don't act on this, what's going to happen is we're going to have a active employee who's having family insurance right now. Their spouse automatically comes off the insurance and doesn't have insurance.
They go on Medicare A and B.
Why can't they go on the Medicare?
They can, but then they would have to pay for it themselves, and it wouldn't be a benefit. So what this would do is it allows us, like we do for active employees right now, we reimburse.
Yeah, I see something.
Yeah, we reimburse them for
That's in the original
until the active employee retires, then that person then is off of it, and then they're on their own. So we only pay for it while the person's active.
So that's common with other municipalities too?
I'm not sure. I can't speak for other
Like you
municipalities.
said, the county does it, Tony?
The county, well, right now, the county, the way they do it, if you work for the county, or someone works for the county, and you married an older person, that person reaches and you're still working, that person reaches the age of 65, they lose their insurance, they get no coverage from the county, period. I mean, but the county says, as an active employee, you're entitled to family, you're entitled to family coverage regardless of the age. Therefore, because you're an active employee, and that would be age discrimination if we took someone off. So what we did is, in the figures that I showed you, by that person going to Medicare, and we pay for the Medicare and we pay for the A and B, we're still saving about $570 something a month. We're saving compared to family coverage.
Yeah.
The person is probably entitled to.
Mhm.
So
I don't know that, see, my concern is that we're looking at this as a benefit to the town. And I think that we have to think about things as a business. and not as, we want to make sure that we're taking, I agree, we want to make sure that we're taking care of everybody, but this doesn't save the town money, because what we're doing is, right now, the way that it's written, it says that this person falls off of our, whoever it is, the person, when they reach this age, falls off of our insurance coverage, right? And they would then have the obligation to go and get their own insurance coverage through Medicare. So we're volunteering now to pay for that,
Pay that difference.
which that won't pay the whole thing.
But we do it with some other people now, so they might say that.
Right, but that's the way that it was written, was we do it for those people. It was written that we don't do it for employees, spouses, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't think is the question. The question is it worth something to have this be negotiated? This was an error on
The handbook.
somebody else's part, not the town's, because it's a benefit to the town to not pay that.
So we do have past practice.
We don't have past practice.
We have past
because
practice with the active employees who are at over 65 are paying, we are reimbursing them
Right.
Yeah,
for the
reimbursement.
Medicare and the A and B.
Because
check
that's
goes to
what's
the
written
people.
down. But what's also written down is that at the point when the spouse
Becomes of age to get.
becomes of age, they fall off our insurance. It doesn't say anything about us paying for the difference. It doesn't say anything about that.
But I
But what would
think, I
stop
think
them
there
from-
was,
What would stop them from just saying, well, we don't want to go on Medicare, we'll just do the family coverage?
Because
And
it
then it'll
says,
cost us
because
money.
it says in the handbook
Oh, yeah.
that they're not entitled to.
Then it also says that the town will pay for Medicare supplement at a rate to be determined by eligibility for the employee and their spouses.
that's the new language.
That's new language.
Well, I got the old language.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that I don't disagree that it's right, that it's probably the right thing to do, but we're in the middle of contract negotiations. And we're talking about something that's a benefit
Yeah,
to
I
the
mean-
people we're negotiating with, who already are getting paid at the top of the pay scale, who already have a contract that would be enviable to anybody in any government employment. If we've got something that they want, then they should give us something for it.
so two of the employees of the three are non-bargaining unit members. So the question is, what do you do about that?
Those are apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Right, because they don't have any bargaining points. so
Right.
shouldn't even
We
be a
can
factor.
come to an agreement with non-bargaining employees and not come to an agreement with the bargaining employees. Those are two
I
different
agree.
entities.
I agree, but I think that if you look at the town's point of view, if they're an active employee, we have an obligation, I believe, to pay for health insurance for spouses.
Well, unless you give them notice saying, a year down the road, well, they're already at age, though, probably.
Well, they've been given notice because it's been in the handbook all along that at the point in time where they become Medicare eligible, then they have to go on Medicare. They don't get town insurance. I think that this is another situation where we're making a decision to do this. And first of all, I think that we should separate those two things out. Those two things are separate. Bargaining unit people and non-bargaining unit people. And I'm not sure what the appropriate mechanism. I believe if we're making an agreement that is a benefit to the bargaining unit people, as a minimum, it should be done as a memorandum of understanding signed between both entities. It's worth money. And really, it should be done during contract negotiations. Now, as far as the non-bargaining employees go, that's something that we can kind of, deal with around this table, because there's no other side to the argument,
Right, true.
so.
And plus the timing is bad during the other negotiations.
Yeah, timing's terrible.
Yeah, it is. But when they were born, we had no control over. So when we have a situation where individuals coming due in a month or so, and if we don't act on this, that person will be without coverage and to an active employee. So I know I would be, the only thing I would be willing to amend on this right here is to make it for non-bargaining unit members only, and not do it for union members. Just say this is for insurance for non-bargaining unit members, and add that language into it. And Rick, can we do that?
So
And then you can negotiate, with the union on that one employee when their spouse comes due next year.
Well, it'll just be something that'll be on the table
Yeah.
while we're talking,
Yeah.
and that's fine. The only thing that I'll say is, and I don't have an objection to that.
Yeah.
I will say that when we start talking about raises for non-bargaining employees and things like that, I'm going to mention this again. We gave you something and got nothing in return for it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did anybody else have a problem with me making the amendment to just make this toward non-bargaining unit
No,
members?
if you make that amendment, I'm fine with it, and I agree with what you said.
So just add it to number 4, this policy is subject to change and is only effective to non-bargaining employees.
I have Rick make the amendment to where it should be.
Where are you reading?
I was
Number
just gonna
4.
add it to number 4.
Under the,
Page 3.
Page 3.
Rick.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Tammy, how come the lines came in there? I thought we deleted all that.
We did. Oh,
Just the one, that's all.
Just pretend those line crossouts weren't there because we went through and deleted all that red lines.
so
I don't think I read like.
for Medicare eligible employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. And their
Correct.
spouses.
Yep.
So if we made that,
Say it again, Fred, I'm sorry.
so under the first part, as of January 1st, 2013, care coverage for Medicare eligible employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement and their spouses. Does that work?
No, because it does cover employees in the bargaining unit.
Spouses.
Oh, okay. You're right.
So it'll be spouses.
So-
Yeah.
Later on, you put that addition.
No, Medicare non-bargaining unit employees.
Non-bargaining.
Yeah, non-bargaining. Yeah. So we had to negotiate the union. So this is just a cover.
Right, this
Yeah, no, that's number
wouldn't,
3, yeah.
this wouldn't change the language of the. So it says, as outlined in the employee
And the
handbook, we'd
spouses
have
in
to
the
take out
non-bargaining
Oh, yeah.
unit,
and
And the
CSC a
contract.
union
Yeah, take out the
contract.
contract. Yeah.
Yep, down here,
number 3.
Number 3.
number 3. Yep. Yep.
All right.
Okay, with that amendment, is to roll call.
I'll make a motion.
Timmy,
Ready to do that?
Tony second.
Hold up, can I add any discussion?
Yeah.
Yep.
Under note, should it be, will not be affected by this change? You see that an employee who is a member of a collective bargaining unit may not be affected by this change. Should it be,
Will not.
should it be will? I don't know.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Will not.
Anything in 806 though? 806? I'm sorry, 807. I'm sorry. Brought a red line. Bottom of page 5 where it says union employees.
Uh,
Yeah, that can come out too. The whole line.
insurance. Union employees, employer is a member of a collective bargaining unit is not covered by the medical. Set forth
Because
immediately.
807 is
Should refer to the
retirees.
applicable.
I guess that's okay because it refers you back to the contract.
Right. Spouses required. So we can, I'm okay with fixing it. You know, the intent of the amendment is to not change anything in a collective bargaining agreement.
So
Yes,
we'll have Rick,
Down with
we'll,
some drafts or
Yeah.
something.
well, it's subject to the bargaining.
we'll have Rick clean up based on his approval. We'll approve this if it gets passed.
Yeah.
Based on his approval, and
In his
we'll-
rewrite. Yeah.
his
The
rewrite.
rewrite, yeah.
Okay,
But we know what the intent is.
yes.
Right.
Everybody comfortable?
So I'll
So,
copy everybody, so before Tammy finalizes the draft minutes and Garcelle puts it in the handbook, we'll make sure we're all signing off on it.
Perfect.
so based on that, because of the conversation, let's do individual roll call.
Counselor Cornelius,
Yes.
Counselor Pichardi,
Yes,
Counselor Kerstetter,
Yes.
Counselor Vitale.
Yes,
Supervisor Witt.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next thing is,
I'll make a motion for that discussion.
okay, is there a second?
Second,
Okay, any discussion?
this is the animal control.
And then one of the things I sent you guys pictures of, the one thing I forgot that probably someone else doesn't have, New York State's now requiring a shelter. You gotta have it in place.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
gotta
saw
be-
that bill.
It's gotta be inspected, so,
I don't think I got pictures of it. Did you email those?
yeah, email pictures.
Oh, did you?
You guys get pictures, email pictures of the dog kennel?
Did you do it tonight?
no,
No, like a week or two ago.
is it nice?
I didn't
Oh,
get
yeah, I'll send it to you again if I didn't do it. Okay. The next, okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next one is establish the capital reserve fund, as we requested in the water department. So we made it broad, Rick made it broad enough so that it can be any type of equipment, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's whatever type. We put money into a reserve account, it's reserved and it's set forth, and we can't touch it without, Rick, we gotta go through permissive referendum to spend the money.
Yes, if the town ever wants to take money out of this fund, then whatever resolution would have to be subject to permissive referendum, which means that Tammy, as town clerk, would publish the resolution in the citizen.
And then we'd have to wait 30 days, and then if no one else objected, then we could spend the money after we make the announcement. So it's, and then the nice thing about the reserve fund too, it doesn't go against our balance, it comes out, so it's.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
Here's a list of, that
I'll
Garcelle put
second.
together months ago that I have, just to show what our existing reserve accounts are, and I'm sure she'll add to that as well.
So we got Tim and Tony's made the second, any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Good. The next thing is the authorized supervisor to sign a share service agreement with New York State Transportation.
I'll make a motion for that for discussion.
Second,
Discussion? It's a standard letter. The state said that you had to sign. So it's not much you can do. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last week we discussed at the budget meeting to come up with a detailed authorization. We agreed in principle, but we wanted to have a formal thing. Here's the formal thing to authorize an additional $2,000 payment to the Wasco Lake Watershed Management Council.
I'll
Is there
make
a motion?
for discussion.
Okay, Timmy, is there a second?
Yeah,
Okay, Mike, discussion.
where's the money come from?
This is coming out of the water. We probably should put that in this as a
Yeah.
resolution. So what we will do is we will add another whereas where the money will be taken out of the water account,
Water district.
water district.
Sounds good. Do you
So,
think they're gonna, did you hear any feedback if they're going to be doing other towns?
oh yeah, they
And
already
if
have.
They already,
Yeah,
Got the
what I put in here, yes, and what, as I mentioned, the total budget that we're looking at next year is $241,000. We're only putting in 25,000. So the rest of the money's coming from everybody else. So, yeah, out of the $241,000. So, and quite honestly, the city of Auburn and the town of Wasco are only the two ones that are legally responsible for doing it.
why? Because we provide the water,
Yes, we provide drinking
purveyors.
water.
we provide the potable water.
By law, we oversee
Because
it.
Fleming gets as much recreational value.
Doesn't
Because they get
matter.
it from
Doesn't
us.
matter because they don't produce
They
water.
don't produce water.
But they have water. They do have water.
We
Yeah,
sell
from
them.
us.
We sell
Yeah,
them.
we
the
sell
one-
them the water. I
Yeah.
know that, but they have a
Yeah.
lot of water rights and they
Oh, yeah,
enjoy the
absolutely.
lake just as much as
And
anybody
if
else.
you broke it down, we could have just paid their share and then billed it back to them in their rates.
And, yeah, and the rates, but that you gotta be careful about that because then they can buy their water from the city at a cheaper rate and then we lose the revenue, which is not a good.
Well,
And-
yeah, but
and we're at the-
we-
We're this close to being just under what the city charges.
Hmm.
So if we raise any more rates, we're gonna be over what the city charges. They can get cheaper. Yep. So we got a motion, we got a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
All right. You're just gonna add that.
I got it
whereas.
written down. Yep, I'm gonna add the whereas. So Tammy, we gotta add that whereas.
I wrote it in.
Okay, yep. Next motion is to approve, this came in at 3:03 today. This is to approve the agreement with, used to be O'Brien and Garrett, now it's called Rambo. Not to be confused with First Blood, for engineering services. Okay, can I get a motion for discussion?
Well,
Fred, then Tony. What the hope is for this is we got a quote from the previous person who does the existing thing. Frank Diorio believes that he thinks he can go out and get a much better, cheaper price. So by spending $12,000 may save us $100,000. So that's the intent behind this. And he is the one working with Bob on a volunteer basis because he has a direct interest up there because he lives in that district and he wants to, they just want to smell it as well either.
Is
So-
there any money left over in that district to pay for this? For the
Oh, yeah, it
engineering
has to be
services?
paid by that.
Okay.
It has to be paid by that. It has no choice because that's legally by law. It has to come out of that district. Okay? So do we have a motion and a second for
Yes,
this?
Fred and Tony.
Fred and Tony, any other discussion on this? Hearing none. All those in favor?
all right.
The next thing is to continue the public hearing for the preliminary budget for the town of Owasco for the fiscal year January 1st, 2021. Can I get a motion?
Open the hearing.
Open a hearing at
4:47.
4:47.
So moved.
Second.
Tony, Fred, okay. Would anybody, let's have a discussion on the public hearing. One of the things that I did send out to everybody on here is with the highway department. I have all the documentation that you may want from 5-Star. One of the things that in my email, it was slightly off a little bit that I sent out to everybody. What my goal is, what our goal as a board is to give the people the equipment they need. Number 2 was to start a rotation of equipment so that we can buy things on state contract pricing, keep them for the length of the warranty, and then dispose of them, and then hopefully sell the vehicle at a really reasonable price, and then
Replace it.
replace it and keep things on a rotation. And eventually what it will do is once we get everything on rotation, it will pay for itself and it'll be cheaper. We'd have new vehicles, we'd have no maintenance, and we would
Less
have,
repair bills.
huh?
Less repair bills. and
Less
safe-
repair bills and having
safer vehicles.
high quality vehicles. An example of this is if you look at the spreadsheet I sent you on the front end loader. We bought that front end loader 3 years ago. We paid, I think 3 years ago, I think we paid about $160,000 for that vehicle. Over the course of 3 years, we amortized it. Its trading value right now is $130,000. So we only lost $30,000 on the value of the front loader. So we basically got a loader for less than $10,000 a year.
A year.
And what happens with the loader is and one of the things that we're going to have to do with that loader is buy a new set of tires. Bob, what's the set of tires cost?
It's gone.
Yeah, Mike, I think it's over $10,000.
Yeah, $7,000.
That'd be quite expensive.
Yeah, so if you look at it, we're gonna be saving money. So what I would like to do, and I sent everybody this spreadsheet the other day, what I would like to do is make an amendment to the spreadsheet, because I think we can afford to do it. I would like to, and if on the advanced lease where it says a 24-month payment, which is two payments, one next year and one in 2022.
That's for the loader.
Huh?
That's just solely for the loader.
Well, I would like to pay the loader off fully the first year. If we buy all three pieces of equipment plus the loader, which will be a backhoe, a new skid steer, we would get a mini excavator and we would replace the loader. So we would get 4 pieces of equipment. We can do that. The first year's payment, if we pay off the front end loader, it would cost us $148,000 for the first year. We had budgeted $200,000 for this product, to buy equipment or put it in reserve account. But we need the equipment because the skid steer is 1990 something. It's crap. So, and we're spending a lot of money repairing this stuff. So what I would propose is instead of $128,000, we pay off the front end loader, which is instead of paying $20,000, we pay $39,000. It would be $148,000. So I'm going to say let's budget $150,000 for the first year's lease payment. Next year we would have to budget $100,000 to pay off the rest, and then within 2 years, all those pieces of equipment are paid off. We own them. And then in the last column, it gave us the anticipated trade-in value for 2 years and 3 years, which is part of the rotation process, what those vehicles would be worth. The nice thing about the smaller pieces of equipment, except for accidents and damages that we do to the machine, anything that goes wrong with those small machines is covered for 2 years. And we could actually trade it in 2 years, not have any concerns about warranty, and then trade it in. And for example, like the skid steer, it would actually cost us less than $6,000 a year to have a skid steer for 2 years. And then we trade it in and with no warranty. It would always be a brand new skid steer every 2 years. And this is the least amount of price because we can always put it on Auctions International, and we might be able to get more money on Auctions International than we could by trade-in. Usually trade-ins, depending on the time of year and that kind of stuff. And the other thing that's not included in this, which I put in my email, was we could sell the other 2 pieces of equipment. We had the backhoe appraised last year for $27,000, and we had on Auctions International, someone offer us $27,000. So Bob believes that this year we could probably, he goes, if you want to bet on a low end Bob price, if you anticipate $20,000, you'll probably get that, if not more. And if you get the skid steer, because of its age, you're lucky to get $10,000 for that to $15,000. So if we might anticipate another $30,000, which we can put into the reserve fund for more equipment down the road. So all of that and then if we budget the same amount of money next year as we in 2022 as we did this year, that would at the end of 2022. Based on these preliminary numbers, we would be able to have about $258,000 in our reserve fund to purchase another 10-wheeler, so that it would
Replace the oldest one.
replace the 2000.
And that's not factoring in all the repair costs that we're not gonna spend.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the only thing that, it's not going to change. The only thing that's going to change is that we're going to put more money into the equipment reserve fund and not spend as much money next year as we had originally thought we were going to do.
Nicest part about this is something, God forbid, something happens. These machines are right up to spec. If OSHA comes in, hopefully they take care. It's got all the bells and whistles, backup alarms, all the lights and
Safety.
everything. Safety features.
And
Where
it,
some of this old equipment may not be working.
We know he doesn't know what a grease gun is, so it doesn't need to be greased.
So you don't grease it.
and it alleviates a good portion of the borrowing issue that we've
It
had.
eliminates all of it because we never had a
Right.
mini
excavator.
mini excavator before.
Yeah, as long as
So
you're
and you're
on his
not
personal drive.
considering the warranty
no.
on this, right?
Huh?
You're not considering the warranty for 18 months on this then?
For which one?
Well, I'm looking right now at the skid steer, but it's $1,000.
Month.
No, for the
John Deere extended warranty powertrain.
For
and
2 years.
hydraulics.
It'll be 2 years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
okay. That's,
Yeah.
I just, that's
Yeah.
what I wondered
Yeah,
if
I
you
am.
were
Yep.
considering it.
I
So
had
it'll
to
be-
look
it'll
up what a skid steer was. I didn't know.
That's,
I got a
Little
good, I
Bobcat.
got a good handle on it now.
Bobcat, yeah.
They're under-
There's probably pictures in there.
Bob-
yeah, yeah,
Bobcat's a name brand. Skid steer.
I think this is it there.
I had a pretty good handle on what the other ones were.
Yeah,
Skid
yeah.
steer versus skid marks.
Skid marks, yeah, yeah.
Here, tell them to
That's
look at
Timmy.
this one. You got a picture of it right there? This
No,
one's
this
got
Yeah, I
a-
looked one
This
up.
is a
This one's got a
mini-
picture in the back. This is on tires?
Huh?
On tires or tracks?
The mini excavator will be on track.
No, I mean the.
Skid steer tracks.
Tracks?
Yeah.
Better or worse? Much better. huh?
Better.
And good thing we're getting rid of it after 2 years, because then it gets expensive to replace them.
Yeah.
But they're nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're nice.
So
It's
does
amazing.
anybody,
He's gonna get rewarded with brand new stuff like that.
well, just run and beat them. That's all you gotta do,
Yeah,
Timmy.
that's all I'm
We-
gonna do,
Yeah. You'll have the new toys to play with,
yeah.
but you won't know how to use them though.
That's true. I'll have to hire him back to run them.
We win.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're on the
Yeah.
right track. I tried to get a troop to do this many years.
No, I
They just
agree.
wouldn't-
It's a no-brainer.
They just
With
wouldn't
the-
understand.
With the safety aspects alone.
Safety and.
You know, Salve used to have an auction every year,
Oh, yeah.
and all the towns would bring their equipment in. It's just like he's saying, 2-year machine over there.
Yeah.
You go in there and you bid it, you get all your money back
Right.
at the time.
There, and I don't know if we do it now, we've talked about it before, but if, you know, we're getting this new equipment, we should be putting a logo on it and
Oh,
making
absolutely.
sure that it's properly marked as a town of Wasco piece.
And
of
also
equipment.
inventory, and each one should be, you know, H1 for Highway 1, all those trucks should be
So
labeled.
that's what Darcel, what we had done to improve efficiency here is, and we talked about in previous board meetings, with the new card
Engineering.
system, we had Darcel be able to remotely access the
Oh,
gasoline from here. So we're able to monitor it from
Right.
here, not up there.
Nice.
And the other thing is, we're going to key in all the new cards. So each piece of equipment will have a number.
Yeah.
Each piece of equipment will have a number, or, you know, and so you have to put the number in, either you gotta put the miles or the hours of the
Hours, yeah.
machine into the gas before you are allowed to pump gas. So you gotta put the machine card in first,
Yeah.
then you gotta put the code in for the operator, so they know. And you gotta put the information in, and then we'll be able to track every piece of equipment, every gas tank, every thing, and we'll be able to have we'll have a printout at the end of the year. So what our goal was, by January 1st for the new year, we'll have all this in place
Nice.
so that everything will be, so you say to me, how much repair was on vehicle number 1? And I can tell you the repair cost, I can tell you the mileage, I can tell you how much gas they use, I can tell you who drove that.
With the technology we have access to, there should be no excuse not to.
Yep, so that's what and the thing is, technology is only as good as if you got someone who can
The users,
can
right.
use it. So we have a quality person doing that right now. So, any questions on the budget? Any other modifications to the budget that anybody wants to review, to make?
Did we hear back from Water on those repairs for the building? Is he gonna he was gonna get a quote for the brush repair?
Well, we budget, no, he didn't, I didn't hear back from them. I did hear, we got money set aside for the, I think we only put like 40,000 away for 60,000 away for the blacktop for up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was $400,000. Obviously, we're not gonna be
Did
able
you
to
get
do
a
it.
clarification on that?
Yeah, it's just because
It
of
is for.
yeah, 400,000. So we're gonna have to, budget that, or patch it for
Yeah,
now.
we could shim and patch a lot of areas that
Yeah.
should get us by another year. or two.
Yeah, a year or two until we can
Yeah.
budget for that. We can budget up at the highway garage.
It's a
'Cause
lot of money. for 100.
Yeah. too
Well,
much,
it's a lot of
but-
area.
A lot of road work.
It's a lot of road.
And what they were gonna do is they gotta because in such bad shape, they gotta grind it all up,
Ah.
take it out, put new stone down, new binder,
Can't use
put new
pressure.
fabric. So it's a complete install. It's a
Our
removal.
boys can kind of roll out patches.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We
shim
can
it
keep
up.
on going.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to do that.
And
We're
we'll
gonna-
have less traffic now at the recycling center.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. So But the whole thing, it doesn't prevent us from cleaning the place up, you know, so
Right,
that's the main goal, is to clean that place up and not have to look at dodge potholes to drop
We'll have all
off.
the storage you need for the cold storage for all this new stuff that'll go in there.
Yeah, and so one of the things that we're talking about is, you know, one of the things that we have a hard time in the wintertime, in the springtime, is getting dry topsoil. So what I suggested to him was in that big storage area, have an area that we can put some topsoil in there to keep it dry over the winter.
Yeah.
You know, so when we do projects in the springtime, we'll have the material that we need to do projects.
Yeah, we shouldn't store any equipment in the salt shed.
Oh, no, on the salt shed, this is the
No,
recycling
I'm
bar.
just saying, I've seen it in there.
Yeah,
It's stored there.
Right away.
In the spring, it just all rusty.
Yeah.
And it's something, I've seen it done there.
yeah.
It shouldn't be done.
You know, we got plenty of room now because of the recycling building being empty.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
The rollers and stuff.
All right, I'll make a motion, we close.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing at 5 o'clock.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Okay, now we have to approve the final budget for the town of Owasco fiscal year beginning January 1st.
I'll
Can I
make a
have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Mike, Tony, Mike. Any discussion? It's your last chance. Forever hold your peace. Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay, next thing is the audit and payment of claims. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Timmy and Fred, any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Does the negotiating team or anybody have anything for executive session
No,
for contract negotiations, anything?
No, we were supposed to have a thing today, but it got
meet?
postponed, so.
once.
So
I
we were
did-
supposed to meet today, but it got postponed because Caroline is,
She didn't set another date, though.
she sent an email right before we came in, so there might be something there. but
Okay, all right, so if there's no,
She
I'll make a
said she
motion
wanted
to
to meet
adjourn.
twice before the end of the year.
okay.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
So Timmy made a motion to adjourn.
I'll
I will
second.
too.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, cool.
All right.